Cowboys injury news and updates coming up in just a second. But first, the vast majority of you guys, about 80%, do not have your notifications set to all. You are not part of the Noti gang here at the Cowboys Report, which means you won't get a push every time we put out a new video every single day. So head down where you subscribe. You'll see that bell. Click it again. When you first subscribe, YouTube defaults you to personalize. That means you're missing out on videos here. Change it to all. That way, you get a push sent right to your phone every time there's a new Dallas Cowboys video. Let's dive right into these Cowboys injury news and updates. Some of them good, some of them not so good. We'll begin with the one that maybe is the most concerning. That is on Tyron Smith, as Smith aggravated, or I should say re-aggravated, that ankle injury against the Vikings. Now, Todd Archer has called this a day-to-day thing for Tyron Smith, and it's going to be an evaluation process for Dallas throughout this week. So this remains a concern. Maybe not as bad as it could have been since he left that game against Minnesota and did not return, but there is a very real possibility that Tyron Smith is not out there against the Von Millerless Denver Broncos this upcoming week. This year, when he's been out there, which has been almost every snap, Tyron Smith looks a lot like prime Tyron. Great in the run game, limited hurries and sacks allowed. He looks fantastic so far this year. He has been that guy on the offensive line. Now, if Tyron is out, we'll list him as hurt for the time being, the Cowboys have some decisions to make because your next best tackles, unquestionably, in whatever order you want to put them, I'm going to rank them, La'el Collins, Terrence Steele. Those are your best next two guys. Now, both of them, I think the Cowboys think, are better on the right side. But I think you got to put one of them over on the left, as we'll get into here more in depth in a little bit. But if I'm Dallas, I'm finding a way to get my two best tackles out there if Tyron can't go, and that is Terrence Steele or Collins. Now, what is your concern level over Smith? And it's the ankle this time, not the neck, not the shoulder, the back, whatever. It's an ankle at this point. Scale it for me. 1 to 100. We're going to spend some more time here on Tyron Smith. Before that, though, get your votes in for me in the comment section. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. Now, against Minnesota, Ty Nsekhe stepped up as the new left tackle for Dallas. And the team survived, and I do want to emphasize getting a win with two backup offensive tackles and a backup quarterback is borderline of unheard of in the NFL. But there is a clear drop-off, and I truly believe that Nsekhe is your fourth best offensive tackle on the team. And I think most of you would agree with that. Here are his PFF stats, pretty much all from this past week's game. A sack, 2 hits, 5 hurries, and a 62.6 PFF run grade. Not exactly ideal, but it's survivable, and I do think he was a bit better in the run game than what he was in the passing game. And I know that La'el Collins has not played left tackle for Dallas in his NFL career, although he's played left side in college and has played left guard for the Cowboys. Get him on the field. Maybe Dallas is mad at him. Cool, I get it. It's understandable. Whatever. Get over it. Get your best football players out there on the field. That is what Dallas needs to be doing. Collins is one of your best players. I don't care if it's at left tackle or right tackle. Terrence Steele goes left tackle or right tackle. Even if you're concerned about flipping sides, I think that's what you need to do if you're Dallas. And Steele, by the way, had himself another quality game. He continues to play very well for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's a good sign. I think you got to put Steele and you got to put Collins out there in whatever order the Cowboys are most comfortable with in the event Tyron Smith can't go. And again, if he can't, well, pick one for me. Head down to the comments and let me know what you're thinking here. TN for Ty Nsekhe, LC for La'el Collins, or TS for Terrence Steele. I assume whichever one of Collins and Steele you don't take, ends up at right tackle, but I still want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section. All right, Dak Prescott injury update time for y'all. Dak, of course, sat out against the Vikings with a calf injury. The Cowboys have said publicly and leaked he should be back against Denver. The really basically breaking news update, as we said, this is when it just came out. Mike McCarthy said today in his press conference that the plan for Dak Prescott, I should say, is for him to be limited on Wednesday. Assuming that goes well, he will become a full-go practice on Thursday, and that means he's playing against Denver. So if that does not end up being the case, that should be a red flag for you about Dak Prescott being able to play against a not as good Denver Broncos team. But it does sound like, although we got burned by this last week, that Prescott will be out there for Dallas. In the weird events he cannot, it's Rush Hour Part 2. Cooper Rush was a lot better than I think almost anyone expected. And by the way, big shout-outs to Cooper Rush for playing like he did. On top of this, I'll add this note as well as it relates to Rush. That's a big deal for him personally. That game is going to allow him to stick around the NFL even longer. If he had been bad, he might not have lasted much longer. Now, he's got a chance somewhere, whether it's Dallas or elsewhere, to hang around as a backup quarterback. Back to Dak, though. Will he play against the Denver Broncos? Type in Y for yes, or you can type in N for no. I think it was Steven Jones' line was, we were optimistic last week, even more optimistic this week. I think he's going to play, but let me hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Speaking of Dak, pay attention for how you can get his jersey. Now, today's show is helped out by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code you guys see on screen. That's Cowboys125. It'll get you the 125% deposit bonus. On top of that, it is Jersey at least week. I'm trying to get month going here, but it's Jersey week for the Cowboys Report, and you can get one by putting on at least $100 at chatsports.com/bet using promo code Cowboys125. Once you send us a screenshot of your first bet, your account number, your jersey size, etc., we'll get you hooked up. Email us jersey@chatsports.com. I'll put that in there, by the way. And look what we got. We didn't have him earlier this year. We finally got him some Dak Prescott jerseys in that style for you. Lamb and Elliott in the navy and color rush as well. We've got the Dak jerseys available, plus Lamb, plus Elliott. If you want in, follow those steps I mentioned. That was a bit too confusing. I understand it's a quick video. Email us jersey@chatsports.com for that deal. Now, again, remember, folks, you got to use promo code Cowboys125 at chatsports.com/bet. It is $100 to get the deposit bonus and the jersey, so keep that in mind. But if you have questions, email us jersey@chatsports.com. Let's go to Trevon Diggs now, as mostly good news on this front. Sounds like everything's going to be okay here. I know he sprained that ankle late. There's very limited concern right now, if any concern, for the Dallas Cowboys. He's supposed to be all right. Left the stadium without a boot and no limp. A very good sign there for the Cowboys' #1 corner, who had the interception streak broken. Also wasn't thrown at nearly as often. That does tend to make a little bit of sense, but he's still got 7 INTs, 11 pass breakups on this year. Make no mistake, that's pretty damned impressive so far out of Mr. Diggs. Now, the updates here also come at the cornerback position, where it was Kelvin Joseph, who we'll spend some more time on momentarily, who got the brief playing time, and as Diggs missed the final 2 snaps since Minnesota was god-awful with clock management down the stretch. Kelvin Joseph stepped in for Diggs, not Nashawn Wright. Joseph, who had been activated off of IR, played 2 snaps because of the Diggs injury, made his debut, and look, I mean, they didn't really matter. They didn't look at him, but hey, he played the snaps in the end. Now, in the event that Diggs or somebody else gets injured, knock on wood, which corner would you rather have out there for the Dallas Cowboys? Type KJ for Kelvin Joseph or NW for Nashawn Wright, who I'm not sure is having the best practice run, but has been above Joseph and has had a bit more time with the team. I say KJ, but we're a show for you guys. Get your votes in for me in the comments. Some bad news now. Jabril Cox tore his ACL against the Minnesota Vikings. That has been made official. This ends his rookie season, and it's a disappointing loss for Dallas. He had been coming along decently, has not officially yet been placed on IR, but he's going to in the very near future. His year's over. Of course, he had been linebacker 4 behind Micah Parsons, Keanu Neal, and Leighton Vander Esch. Luke Gifford now has a chance to get some more run. And I'll also mention this player, Francis Bernard, who had his IR window activated last week. Well, he could be back soon now. And with Cox going to IR, he now has a chance to be activated and help the Cowboys predominantly on special teams. And that is a big deal for Dallas. Now, the Cowboys play the Broncos this week, and we will be live for that game. And by the way, Denver, I'm adding your official YouTube channel. You guys can suck it. We got more subscribers than the official Denver Broncos channel does. What a joke. Cowboys by 20 against Denver. Sub if you guys want free videos all season long. All right, rapid fire here to kind of wrap up on some other injury notes. Michael Gallup, I think, returns this week. I know he was pushing to play, ended up not being the case, and we'll see what the usage looks like for Gallup and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson, because Cedric Wilson has played great in terms of his recent performance and maybe still is your second best quarterback on the roster. He has yet to throw an incomplete pass of the 6 he's thrown in his NFL career. All right, other injury notes. Look, we mentioned Gallup. We mentioned Bernard. I think you see Sean McEwen come back this week. His 21-day window is almost up, and there is a roster spot open already, not including Cox coming up in the near future. Tristan Hill has that knee injury, and maybe this week, maybe next week, somewhere in that area. DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way, is getting closer. We mentioned that Jane Slater told us last week that it could be back in time for the Atlanta game, and that's kind of what McCarthy hinted at as well. No real updates on Neville Gallimore. Hopefully he's back soon. Brent Urban, Maurice Kennedy going to miss at least 2 more weeks. And as for Josh Ball, I just haven't seen very much notes on him. I wonder if this will be an IR stash type of year for the rookie out of Marshall.